Hey, what's up, everybody? The V Club here. What is the V Club? It's the Villain Club. Oh, yeah. Because, it's good to be bad. Alright, that's all I got to say. It's about anything and everything. And, it's unscripted, it's off the cuff. I mean, it's just sharing with you opinions that I think we all share in common. So, without further ado, let's just get into it. Alright, and before you do, always subscribe and hit the bell icon. That way you can stay on top of daily news content. I say newsworthy content. How about that? Newsworthy content and sharing my thoughts about big things that are going on out there. And so I know that the elections and stuff like that have dominated recently. What's newsworthy, but this has come about. All right, Tom Homan. So if you haven't seen the news by now, Tom Homan. You know what? Before we do, let's take a look at some numbers here, real quick. Let's take a look at the current election here results. Yeah, definitely for sure. Arizona is at 95%. I think these are like the remaining key races that are, but it's pretty much all there. And what was predicted, all right. But also, we want to look at the Senate. Looks like everything is wrapped up in the Senate, looks like in the key races. Let me see here. No election in the Senate for these kind of striped states there. And so it looks like the majority has gone over to Republicans for the Senate. The House is definitely right here, leaning on Republicans as well. There's still, looks like there's still seats up for grabs here with Alaska, a little part of Arizona, a little bit of California, Washington, Iowa there. I think those are the only ones that looks like it's remaining. But so far, Republicans look like they have the House. Whoops. Yeah, so that's that, all right. And going back to the news now. So Tom Homan, all right, just got picked up to be border czar, all right. So Trump names Tom Homan, former director of immigration enforcement, otherwise known as ICE, as the border czar, all right. This is the second time he's come out of retirement, all right, to come back into public service, and he didn't hesitate to do it again for Trump. This is the second time he's doing it for Trump under a different position, but he's doing the job that Trump is asking him to do. So let's look into this, all right? So Trump says Tom Homan, his former acting U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Director, will serve as border czar in his upcoming administration, right? Because we all know that even though the Democrats deny it, Biden did name Kamala as his border czar. He specifically said that because why would we just randomly pick out some weird phrase or title to give to somebody, right? Border czar is a unique title that it's not just some random thing that we'll just come up with, or anybody will just come up with and just put on somebody, right? It has to come out of somewhere, and Biden did name Kamala as border czar to handle especially matters that are going along the southern border, where she never went out to until election time when she finally went out to the border. Never really handled any business, never really did anything to do with foreign matters. She let the foreign matters go to war, right, with what's going on in the Middle East, Ukraine, Russia, and then of course the southern border is wide open. So she didn't really do nothing for being put as borders are. So Tom Homan, Trump already not even like sworn in as president again, has already started to put the puzzle pieces in place by putting Tom Homan in place as the border czar. All right, so a position that likely to play a key role in Trump's campaign pledge to secure the U.S.-Mexico border and mount a massive deportation operation. All right, so on the Truth Social site, which is Trump's site where he posts things all the time, I am pleased to announce that former ICE director and stalwart on Border Patrol, Tom Homan, will be joining the Trump administration in charge of our nation's border. All right, and so Trump said that he'll be responsible for the southern and northern borders, maritime and aviation security. So we all know that the problem in the northern borders is not as big, but especially the only area that's really vulnerable is along the New York northern border there, because it's all snow and mountainous and that sort of thing. Whereas the southern border is all like desert. So northern border is technically open as well if people want to go through those conditions to make it over, because northern New York is all just wide open land and not a lot of inhabitants there. So people are doing it on that side too, especially on the New York side there. The rest of the border, not so much on the northern side of the U.S. So Holman said that he was honored to take on the appointment. Holman is a tough-talking former Border Patrol agent who worked his way up to head immigration and customs enforcement in 2017 and 2018 as acting director. He was never confirmed by the Senate, and his new role does not require it. All right. So bringing him on shows the lengths that the Trump administration is likely to carry out the hardline immigration pledges that were a hallmark of the campaign. However, Homan has also pushed back on rhetoric suggesting massive roundups. All right, so we all know what's going on here, right? That kind of thing here. He's also, I believe, worked for the Obama administration as well. Let's see. But anyhow, Holman, all right, very good pickup. That means Trump is serious about business. He already picked up chief of staff. It's also said that he's also going to pick up Elise Stefanik for another cabinet position. It's unconfirmed, but was the talk. Let's see here. So that's Tom Homan. All right, so good stuff there. Let's look at. Let's see here. I'm trying to find the Tom Homan clips here. All right, let's see here. Let's take a look at this here, right? Because he's a dog too, man. J.D. Vance, a dog, right?
Mr. Homan.
And Holman's a dog too, man. I'm just telling you, man. Like, Trump is on it this time. He is, man. He knows what he's doing this time around, right? He said that the first time around he didn't really know a whole lot of who to bring on when it came to government. So he had a lot of advisors and a lot of people that were kind of just pointing him in directions and bringing on certain individuals. But after that experience, he kind of learned and over time figured out, who are the right people and who are not the right people to bring along. So let's take a look at some stuff that Tom Homan uh, has run into over the years, because he stands his ground, all right, when it comes to what the overall mission is, all right?
But the chair,
Mr. Homan.
You work for me. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a taxpayer. You work for me.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their.
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from his
Homan,
family.
with all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you're into the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum and go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. Probably not the right thing to say, but I was angry. Let me tell you why you're angry, because you or no one else in this room has seen what I've seen in my 34 years. You didn't stand in the back of a tractor trailer showing my 19 dead aliens that suffocated to death because the smuggler didn't care, including a 5-year-old boy. What do you think his last 30 minutes were like? I was there. I seen it, I smelled it, I saw it, and I had a 5-year-old boy at the time, and it changed me for the rest of my life. I've seen people who couldn't pay their smuggling fees got stabbed in the face 22 times. 31% of women are being raped crossing this border. Children are dying. Cartels are getting rich. Why am I angry? Because you haven't done anything to fix it. Nothing.
Notice they say migrants. It's illegal immigrants, all right? He will carry through the work, right? I mean, what he says makes sense.
Mr. Homan, do you understand that the consequences of separation of many children will be lifelong trauma and carried across generations? Have we not learned from the internment of Japanese Americans? Mr. Homan, I'm a father. Do you have children? How can you possibly allow this to happen under your watch? Do you not care? Is it because these children don't look like children that are around you? I don't get it. Have you ever held a deceased child in your arms?
First of all, your comments are disgusting. I've served my country.
I've served my country
for 34 years.
I find your comments
this is out of
disgusting
control.
as well.
I've served my country for 34 years, and yes, I held a 5-year-old boy in my arms. In back of that tractor trailer, I knelt down beside him and said a prayer for him because I knew what his last 30 minutes of his life were like, and I had a 5-year-old son at the time. What I've been trying to do my 34 years serving my nation is to save lives. So for you to sit there and insult my integrity and my love for my country and for children, that's why this whole thing needs to be fixed. And you're the member of Congress.
We agree on that.
Fix it. This room has seen what I've seen in my 34-year career.
Very well.
No one has experienced what I've experienced. I've saw many dead bodies coming across this border. And you want to talk about the memo? This memo is one option to stop death. Not just about enforcing the law, stop death. If you want to legalize illegal immigration, good luck with that, because it's going to get a hell of a lot worse on that border. If you say, well, okay, from now on, there will be no consequence, no deterrence. It's not illegal to come to this country illegally. More families would come. 31% women would be raped. More children would die. We're a nation of laws. If you don't like it, sir, change it. You're the legislator. I'm the executive branch, and I've served my country honorably for 34 years, and I will not sit here and have anybody say that I don't care about children because you're not the same color as my children.
Thank you very much.
Dates back to April 23rd of 2018, where there was an official recommendation to, quote, pursue prosecution of all amenable adults who cross our border, quote, illegally, even though this applied to legal asylum seekers in practice, including those presenting with a family unit between ports of entry in coordination with DOJ. Here is the memo that I would like to submit to the congressional record.
What is the date on that?
It is the memorandum for the Secretary from Homeland Security.
Date.
April 23rd, 2018, subject increasing prosecutions of immigration violations.
Without objection.
And so I looked at this memo, and it seems like this is the source of it. And it seems as though, Mr. Homan, that you are the author. It says here from yourself, Kevin Michalinen, and Francis Cisna. Is this correct? Did you sign the memo?
I'd have to see what you...
Give it
I'd be happy to provide it. And we'll provide it over, but I would like to note that here it says the official recommendation. There were 3 different options presented. The third included the option for family separation. This initiative would pursue prosecution of all amenable adults, including those presenting with a family unit. Mr. Homan, your name is on this. Is this correct?
Yes, I signed that memo.
So you are the author of the family separation policy.
I am not the author of this memo.
You're not the author, but you signed the memo.
Yes, a zero tolerance memo.
So you provided the official recommendation to Secretary Nielsen on family, for the United States to pursue family separation.
I gave Secretary Nielsen numerous recommendations on how to secure the border and save lives.
But it says here that you gave her numerous options, but the recommendation was option 3, family separation.
What I'm saying, this is not the only paper where we've given the Secretary numerous options to secure the border and save lives.
And so the recommendation, of the many that you recommended family separation.
I recommended zero tolerance.
Which includes family separation.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from his
Homan,
family.
with all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
But they're still illegal, and they are breaking laws.
When you're in the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum and go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
Okay.
Mr. Homan,
Look,
please.
All right, so you guys see that, right? Like, he's pretty firm about laws. I mean, it's pretty straightforward in the United States. So, just saying that this is definitely a good pickup here, because he doesn't take shit from nobody, and he's all about America first as well. He's on the same page as Donald Trump. So, yeah, I mean, it's great. This is definitely a great call. All right, so here's another clip here. All right, this is definitely a good profile of Tom Homan. All right, I want to share with you guys.
Quickly establishing the team for his second term, and his
Courtesy of
signal
CBS
what
News
his
here.
priorities will be come January when he will be inaugurated. And they're starting with immigration. Thomas Homan will be border czar, charged with carrying out America's largest deportation ever.
Man,
Stephen
Trump
Miller is
is
expected to become
setting
deputy
up
chief
a
of staff
team.
of policy. He helped mastermind the so-called Muslim travel ban in the last Trump administration. And Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, a staunch Trump ally, will serve as U.S. ambassador to the UN. We have reports tonight from Mar-a-Lago and here in Washington, beginning here with CBS's Ed O'Keefe. Good evening, Ed.
Good evening, Nora. No other issue dominated Donald Trump's campaign to win back the White House quite like immigration. And now his pick to oversee the mass deportation of potentially millions of people in this country is starting to play out.
Public safety threats and national security threats will be the priority because they have to be. They pose the most danger to this country.
Tom Homan is a former acting director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement and set to serve as President-elect Trump's so-called border czar, overseeing security along the U.S.-Mexico span and the removal of potentially millions of undocumented immigrants.
Every morning I'm pissed off about what this administration did to the most secure border in my lifetime, so I'm going to go back and do what I can to fix it.
Homan laid out part of his fix-it plan in an interview with 60 Minutes correspondent Cecilia Vega in late October.
Well, let me tell you what's not going to be first. It's not going to be a mass sweep of neighborhoods. It's not going to be building concentration camps. I've read it all. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so that's the fear mongering that Democrats were doing, talking about, oh, they're gonna go into the neighborhoods and just sweep up everybody, and they're gonna, open up internment camps and lock everybody up in there, and all this fear mongering stuff that Democrats have been doing uh, during election season, fear mongering. Trump is Hitler, and there's Nazi rallies, and all this stuff about, oh, they're gonna, separate families and all that stuff. So it's a bunch of bullshit, right? And it's pretty straightforward what the plan is.
But if mass deportation is not going to be, as you said, massive sweeps and concentration
There'll be
camps,
concentrated.
what is it?
There'll be targeted arrest. We'll know who we're going to arrest, where we're most likely to find them based on numerous investigative processes.
CBS News is.
And they've already said that there's already over 1 million, all right, illegals that have already been ticketed, in essence, to be deported back because of the cases, whatever the case may be, they've already been docketed to be set to return, to be deported, and they've never left, all right, because they think, oh, no one's going to get us. So those are the ones they're going to target first and foremost, right? Those are dangerous criminals, and then go from there. So they already know what they're doing. They already got a plan in place, which is pretty crazy, but crazy good.
Learned Trump is set to name Stephen Miller to work with Homan. Miller, a longtime aide and advocate for stricter immigration laws, will be White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Domestic Policy. He has said Trump would seek to deputize National Guard troops to help deport immigrants. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, would take the lead on deportations, but it has just 6,000 agents. Some estimates say the agency needs tens of thousands more people to carry out what Trump is promising.
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Well, let's just say that's the figure, right? Is that worth the price of, tightening up the borders and worthwhile doing in terms of protecting Americans versus paying out billions of dollars to illegals to be here, to take up our resources, to take up everything that they've been doing, ones that commit crime, take lives, causing issues when they shouldn't even be here in the first place, right? All these stupid handout programs. So you're telling me that they could do it that way, but you can't spend it on security to make sure we could uproot and get rid of illegals and to really, tighten up on everything, crime, just clean things up. I don't see anything wrong with that. I think it's a better way to redirect the resources that's been given to illegals in order to fulfill this mission.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security? Is that worth it?
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
Some civil rights groups are already promising lawsuits.
We need to make sure that every Latino and every immigrant's civil rights are protected.
Juan Proyano
Fuck
is
you,
CEO
man.
of the League of United Latin American Citizens, which is warning immigrants to be prepared.
And I'm very worried for the community. There's
Illegals.
likely a student in my daughter's class or in my son's class whose mother or father may be undocumented.
Okay,
They
so
may
yeah.
lose a parent.
Now, despite concerns about the legal, societal, or
Hey,
economic
you heard what he
effects
said.
of mass
They'll send the
deportations
whole
and
family
widespread
back.
Fear it will cause in immigrant communities. Remember, polling during the campaign season found a majority of registered voters supported deporting all undocumented immigrants. Nora.
Ed,
There you
thank for
go.
That new information.
You
Thank
heard that.
Ed.
They supported deportation of undocumented immigrants, otherwise known as illegals, out. All right, so yeah, definitely a great hire. And, if you have a lot of people that voice and, put out what they are in terms of representation, and they are similar to Trump. The whole spotlight on Trump is so direct and so this and so that. It takes away the spotlight from him just for the moment, because if you have other people like Homan, who is on the same page as Trump, and all these different hires that Trump is hiring, they're all on the same page. They all have a similar style personality. And so when you have people that think alike and work alike, to me, it really takes the weight off of the accusations that the Democrats and the crybaby progressives and liberals, are accusing Republicans of, in terms of all the fear mongering, the misogyny accusations, the racist accusations, and all that stuff. To me, I think that what Trump is setting up to do is important for America, all right? Because tired of all the bullshit, and America does need to come first for a change. And this comes at a time where, for me personally, I've never been more patriotic more than ever in my life than I am now. Like, to be, like, what brought me down years ago was all the bullshit stuff that we forced ourselves to going into Iraq, going to Afghanistan, going into all this stuff that's unnecessary, and putting ourselves into world situations. And then to see at its worst at where we're at right now, and then for someone who is patriotic as Trump, who represents what America is about, all right? To me, it creates something within me to believe in patriotism once again, and what it feels to be an American, and I guess you could say to be proud to be an American. And Trump is bringing that spirit back. So I hope everybody's sensing that too, and can't wait to see what happens in the upcoming days and months, as Trump gets immersed back into his job as president once again. So anyhow, just wanted to share that with you guys here. I think great move, and I agree with everything that's going on, and all I gotta say is, what are you progressives going to do about it? All right, people are tired of the bullshit, and this is definitely turning a page to the bullshit and bringing back America first again. So thanks for tuning in. Comment down below, subscribe, hit the bell icon. More to come on the daily. I'll see you next one.